we weren't at war with Japanese people. We were at war with the Empire of Japan, who at that time was.
I gotta ask about Yamashita's gold though.
Oh man.
Guys, let's learn Philippine history together, okay? Love Philippines!
Connection.
Welcome to my channel! Yay! So today we gonna learn about Philippines more and more, I think. Anyways, today's guest is my friend, and he's a filmmaker and director. Okay, let's go to the podcast. Go straight, okay? Today's guest is Bani! Yay!
Hello everybody. Hello Rio's viewers. Do you have a name for your viewers?
Girlfriends.
Hello Rio. Hello Rio's girlfriends.
Hi, my girlfriend.
So many girlfriends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm kinda nervous today.
Oh no.
How about you? How are you, Bani?
Me too. I was also nervous when Rio interviewed me the first time, and now it's a longer interview, so I'm even more nervous.
Don't make me nervous, Bani. But our interview was so good, right?
Oh yeah,
A
I
lot
think
of
so.
people. I got a lot of viewers. You know, that's good thing. And a lot of people told me like, Rio, this one is so like the best interview ever.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I saw a
right?
comment on YouTube.
Right,
I was
right.
like,
Yes. And I'm also on his contents also.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Go watch it if you haven't yet.
Yeah.
On Instagram, the Filipino Story official.
Yeah. But we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah, talk about it.
Anyways, okay, I prepared a lot of questions. So let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And we have also Tunes here.
Hello.
Yo. Okay, let's enjoy. Smile. Don't make me nervous, guys, okay? Okay, Bani. Can you introduce yourself and your background to my viewers?
Yeah. So here. Okay, great. So my name is Bani Logronio. I was born in Australia, and I grew up for part of my life in the southern part of the Philippines in a small town called Cagayan de Oro. And then when I was 9 years old, my family moved to California in the United States. And that's where I pretty much grew up. And then when I was 18, I went back here to the Philippines to study film in Cebu. And that's where you first arrived in the Philippines,
Yes.
right? In Cebu as well. And then after film school, I went back to America to work in Hollywood. But then there was an opportunity to make World War II documentaries here in the Philippines when I was around 22 years old, 22, 23. So I went back here to make my first World War II film. And then that went well. And then I could just keep making more films until I'm where I'm at today. So I think that's a short summary of what I do, who I am. And I got married in 2016
Yeah.
to my wife. Her name's Mai, and she's also a filmmaker. She's the producer of my films.
Thank you so much. Also, you used to be a content creator, right?
Yes,
Right,
yes.
before.
For YouTube.
Yeah, that's why we have kind of, some common friends.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mutual friends.
Yeah,
Jinho.
with Jinho Bei. Jinho Bei. Shout out to
Shout
Jinho.
out. Long time no see.
Actually, I was with him in this morning. Then he told me, "Hey, say hi to Bani." And the last time we met, Bani
Yeah.
said, "Oh, maybe Jiho don't remember me
Yeah.
anymore." But
Because when I was still making YouTube videos, we didn't meet that much, just a few times. So I thought he'd forget about me.
but I told this to Jiho, then Jiho was like, "What? What is he saying? Of course I remember Bani. I like his content." Maybe they're gonna collaborate soon, diba?
Oh, it's so cool. And yeah, because like he's so big, right? Like
Yep.
million subscribers. So I thought small person like me would be forgotten.
He doesn't get the number, you know. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If I talk about too much about
Oh,
him,
too much,
you know,
okay.
he's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah, yeah.
Leo, don't talk about me.
Too
It's
much-
your content.
Too much chismis.
Yeah. Okay, sige po. First question is, what inspired you to start your career as a filmmaker?
As a filmmaker, we can go back to the very, very beginning. So I think the love for storytelling all started when just growing up, because my dad, his job when I was growing up was a pastor. You know what a pastor is?
What's a pastor?
He's the leader of a church.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he explains stories from the Bible, and then he connects it with everyday life.
Okay.
So in a way, a pastor is a storyteller. He tells stories from a book, from history, and then connects it with everyday life. And so I guess in that way, that's how I started getting interested with storytelling.
Okay.
And specifically that kind of storytelling where you connect the past to the present. And so, yeah, I'd say that's how I started falling in love or loving storytelling. And then, of course, you know, growing up, you see a lot of movies and shows and those kind of they shape how you think of life and how you think about the world. I think that's what movies do. There's a quote by Steve Jobs. You know Steve Jobs?
Yes.
Creator of the iPhone. He also created Pixar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Steve Jobs said the most powerful person in the world is a storyteller because he informs the vision, the values, and the agenda of an entire generation. Like that's what stories do. And so for me, that shows like how much value my work has in terms of how it influences people and influences culture. And it's especially true, I think, for here in the Philippines. You know the national hero, right?
Yeah.
Jose Rizal.
Yep.
So
That last episode was about Jose Rizal.
yeah, we were talking about earlier. Jose Rizal, more than being a national hero, he was also a storyteller. He was also an artist. He wrote books. He told stories about the Philippines that shaped and changed this country. And so, in a way, that's what I hope my stories and my movies can do. That kind of spirit. I don't know if it can be that great because you know Jose Rizal is different level. But for me, that's what I want to do with my stories and my films. I don't know if that answered the question.
I love it, you know. It's right. The last episode was about Jose Rizal, and this episode is like it's like.
I tried to connect. I tried to connect.
How is it, Tunes?
Good. I like it.
Right?
Yeah, this is cool.
Right? Oh,
We're just getting started.
His book's name is like Don't Touch. What's
Noli Me Tangere.
Yeah, no, don't
Touch me not.
Don't
in English.
Yeah. Oh, so excited! Oi, but it's very, you know, so interesting for me because actually, you know, I was not interested in the history.
Yeah.
You know, Japanese one also, of course, other countries one. But now, you know, I wanna know about the Philippines more and more. That's why, you know, it's so interesting to learn Filipino cultures, and also maybe in the future I'm gonna learn Japanese history. Also. Yeah, but first
Philippines
first.
first.
Since you know I have a lot of friends who know about Filipino history well. That's why, you know. Guys, let's learn Philippine history together, okay? Okay. You are in a school, right? About film.
Yeah.
You learn
I went to
filmmaking
film school.
in school, right?
Yeah.
So actually, that one, like, I have no ideas for that. What did you learn?
What did I learn in school?
Yeah.
So I went to it's a school in Cebu called the International Academy of Film and Television, and it's a technical school, so it's not like a 4-year course. It was just 1 year.
4 year.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was only 1 year,
Okay.
and then very hands-on. So they basically just give you as many projects as possible for 1 year.
Okay.
And so in that 1 year, I made like, I guess, almost 20 short films while I was in school. So it was, I'd say the technical skills and those kinds of things, that things you can learn in your head, you can just learn on YouTube. You can just learn by yourself. But the value I got from going to an actual school was the experience and the connections I made with the people and with my teachers there, because my teachers were professionals. They worked in Hollywood and in other film industries around the world in the past. So yeah, I think that's what I got out of going to that school.
But it sounds tough, right? You made so many short
Yeah.
films, right? But actually, I'm a content creator. I make like reels, video,
Yeah.
like of course YouTube also, but it takes so really a lot of time to edit or like, right? How
Yeah.
was it? How was it? Was it hard? Of course.
Yeah, for sure it's hard. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, you know it yourself, the time and the effort it takes
Yeah.
to just create, just a YouTube video, let alone a film. So I think you have to be really interested and passionate about it. And when I was starting off, and I guess even until now, it's something that I love. So the time it takes doesn't bother me, as long as when I finish it, either if it ends up not as good as as I envisioned it in my head, then at least I will learn from the experience, or I will create something that's gonna, that will influence someone who watches it. So that's that's what I'm thinking when I make films.
And you also make animation also, right?
So for
Animation.
this current project that I'm doing, I had to learn animation because I started doing it in the pandemic. So couldn't be in the same room as other people at that time. So when we were making the Filipino Story, it was just through Zoom. Like I would meet my illustrators, my voice actress, my animators through the computer, and then it would take a long time to go back and forth. So I was like, I'll just learn animation myself, so it'll be faster. So I had to learn it myself, and then yeah, that's I tried it a little bit before the project, but I really had to learn it when the pandemic happened, and then I had this project. I really had to learn animation, but I wouldn't call myself an animator, but yeah, it's fun, and I'm glad it's doing so well. People are receiving the project really well. Yeah.
So, Therese, I wanna ask this: like, as a creator, like making animation is so difficult.
Yeah, I
right?
think so. Yeah, especially I guess. Well, I mean, it's way easier now,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of like difficult. Imagine like back in the day when they had to
yeah.
use the onion skin. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all the different
Draw every line.
Yeah, yeah. But I still think that it's you have to. There's a technical component to it, right? Where you have to learn the software too. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like learning these type of things, like when you have to do it, kind of like out of necessity, or there's no other way to do it. Sometimes
Yeah, exactly.
you pick up another skill set, and it's useful, and it looks like it's useful in your case too.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting about living in this generation, is that you can just, things are easy enough, not easy enough, but accessible enough to just pick up and learn if you need to learn it. And yeah, that's a good point that Tines brought up, that back then it was really, really hard. Now it's just, compared to before, it's easier. It's still hard, but compared to before, it's easier. So I think that's why I was okay with it.
Of course, social media helped you a lot, right?
Yeah.
YouTube also.
Yeah, lots of tutorials. If you don't know how to do something, just search it.
everything is
everything.
on Google,
Yeah.
Google, YouTube.
Yeah. Is that how you learned editing? And,
Yes, of course.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask one question, but I'm gonna ask it later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you your career. Can you tell us about your first major project and what it meant to you?
My first major project was the project I mentioned earlier about why I moved back from America back to here. So my wife's dad is a World War II filmmaker.
Yes.
So he's been making films about World War II for a very, very long time. But in around 2012, 2013, he wanted to make a film with a fresh direction, a new style, something younger than what he usually makes. So he asked my girlfriend at that time, if she knows anyone who can direct something, a World War II film. And so of course, because we're, we're together, she recommended me. So they flew me in, and then, World War II, or just history in general, is really interesting to me because, like I mentioned earlier, my background with my dad being a pastor, and I just like connecting things from the past to the present and how that can change the future. So it was just I guess a dream project that I got to work on that. The movie is called Manila 1945, the rest of the story, because it was a sequel to one of my father-in-law's previous films. And we premiered it in the National Museum in Manila. And then when the historians and the veterans, the people who fought during the war, saw it, they said, it's a good story, it's a good film, but it was about like the challenges and the suffering and the tragedy of war. They said, why don't you make a film about the victory and the Bani spirit of the Filipino during the war? So here's some money, go make that film. So I was like, oh, okay. So I can. So I guess they liked the style, the way I told the story. They just didn't like that it was so negative. So but we got the funding for my next film called Unsurrendered 2, and that was more about the victory and the bravery of the Filipinos during the war. And that was more successful because it was a positive story. And that's actually, for me, where my love for the Philippines or the Filipino culture, the Bayani spirit, when I finally understood what it means to be Filipino, began. Because learning about the spirit of my ancestors who fought so hard during the war when they didn't have anything, they had limited resources to fight against such a big superpower at that time. It was just so inspirational for me, and so that's my first two films. Manila 1945, which is about more of the suffering during the war, and Unsurrendered 2, which is about the victory and the bravery during the war.
Let's check it together, Tunes.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Yeah, we want to watch
I'll send
it.
you guys. I'll send you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is so cool. Like if you think about it too, and like look at I gotta ask about Yamashita's gold though.
Oh man. That's just we don't tackle it in any of my films, but I know that's like a big rumor going around. That's about all I can say. It has to remain a secret.
do you know about that, Rick?
What's that? I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it's something about like
Yamashita?
gold that was hidden here in the Philippines, and like there's so many people that are like searching for it, and supposedly somebody found some of it. It's crazy.
We've interviewed a lot of historians for these documentaries, and none of them can confirm about that. But yeah, just for context, because Yamashita surrendered here in the Philippines.
Yamashita is Japanese.
Yeah, a general or something.
Yamashita surrendered here. Okay.
Yeah. So, I guess the story goes before he surrendered, he hid his treasures somewhere here. So there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So there's people who are treasure hunters that they dig like so many like tunnels and everything, and then there's like some clues, I guess, where it's also booby trap supposedly, right? Like they put dynamite so nobody would find it, and then they'll leave like clues like leaves from trees that are only in Japan to let you know you're getting close and stuff. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it's highly unlikely, and personally, it doesn't matter because the real treasure of the Philippines is found here.
Let's go.
Let's go. Bayani spirit. Bayani spirit. Actually, I like Bayani spirit so much, how can I explain it? Check our video on
Check our video.
Yeah. The Filipino Story. Right?
The Filipino
IG.
Story official. On
Instagram.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you explain what is Bayani spirit?
Yeah, so in the Filipino language, we have a word for hero, and that word is bayani. It doesn't directly translate exactly. Bayani has a slightly more nuanced, specific meaning of it, more than fighting, more than attacking something. It's more about serving people out of love. It's more based on love, and that's at least what we're trying to teach in the Filipino story. Is that's the spirit of the Filipino. It's found in every Filipino, and that's why when lots of Bayanis come together, we call that bayanihan. Heroes being heroes to each other.
Yeah, actually, you'll get more informations if you watch the videos, right?
Yeah.
On IG, YouTube also, right?
Yeah. So the full videos,
Full video is
the full episodes of the Filipino story are on YouTube. Yeah.
You guys should watch it. It's so nice. Yeah. So nice. So nice. Please watch it. Please watch it. Okay, since we talk about the Filipino story,
Yeah.
can you share your current project to my viewers?
Yeah. So I started this project in 2020. Excuse me. It's called the Filipino Story. It's actually started by American businessman in America. Growing up, his name's Tony. Tony Olaes. Growing up, he didn't like being Filipino.
Didn't like.
Yeah, he didn't like being
Okay.
Filipino.
What's the reason?
Because I guess there's deep reasons.
Okay.
But in America, it's not cool to be Filipino. It's cooler. Can you relate to that?
I don't know. Maybe my perspective is different.
Okay.
One, probably because I'm from Hawaii and there's
see.
so many of us there. So I never really like felt anything. If anything, like all the Filipinos were like most of the cool ones. And even when I moved to Vegas, like I don't know, I felt like we just kind of stand out already.
Yeah.
But I can see definitely where you're coming from. Like so, like in Hawaii, there's a term that we use, and it's derogatory, and it's
Derogatory?
like,
What does it
obviously it's like you know what a fob is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Farv.
fob.
Fob.
Yeah,
What's the farv?
FOB means like fresh off the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then in Hawaii, we say like for Filipinos specifically, we say like book. And
That's derogatory.
yeah, it's kind of like a fob kind of.
What does
You
that
know,
mean?
like so Filipino-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so
like-
so you knew people who felt that way, but you didn't feel that way.
yeah, because I was born there, so it's like it's different. But like you could tell, obviously because the accent, right? Like if like when I went to Vegas, everybody knew that I was from Hawaii because we have the pidgin accent. So it's kind of same thing. Like when the Filipinos or any other ethnicity that comes to Hawaii, like if you have the accent, then it's kind of like, wait, what do we call Japanese people?
Japanglish, diba? Japanese.
Oh man, I forget. Yeah,
But in Hawaii, a lot of Japanese people.
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. A bunch of Japanese people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But anyways, Tony.
Yeah. So
Tony.
that's how we
Yeah.
felt growing up. I guess. Well, yeah. At that time, it just. He's probably older than us too,
Oh,
by
okay.
a lot. So at that time, it just wasn't cool to be Filipino. So
Ah, I
it would be
see.
cooler to say, "Oh, I'm Hawaiian." So
Right, right,
That's
right,
what he
right,
would
right.
say. I guess that's also part of the reason why you didn't feel like, because you're Hawaiian
Right.
also.
right.
Yeah,
I see.
so,
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
And also, this is why on the news, the way the news would depict the Philippines, is a lot of poverty, corruption. Like that's what would be highlighted about Philippines on the news. So that's why he didn't like being Filipino. It wasn't until he was 40 years old that he flew here for the first time, and then, just like what you experienced, everyone here is so warm,
Yeah.
so giving, and that awakened the Bayani spirit inside him. That he says he describes himself as born again Filipino. So he flew here as an American, and then he flew back as a Filipino.
Filipino.
And then when that happened, he just wanted to tell everybody, like, oh, this is what my people are like. This is what Filipino is. And that eventually led to wanting to create a project called the Filipino Story, which will explain to Filipino Americans or Filipinos outside the Philippines, like what the Filipino identity, what the Filipino culture, what the Filipino spirit is. And so he was looking for a director to create this. And when he asked his historian, Professor Xiao Chua, who's a good filmmaker, who's a good director to create this project, this cartoon, and Professor Xiao said, I only know one filmmaker who can do this. His name is Bani Logroño. and his wife, Mai Logroño.
Oh, Bani.
So that's how we got on the project, and I think it was a perfect fit. It was destiny because I grew up both here and there in America, so I have both experiences. I've experienced. I know both perspectives, and then my strength in telling stories and making films is in making those connections from the past and then into the present, and then seeing how it can shape the future. So it seemed like it was a perfect project for me. And I think that's why it's so successful. That's part of the reason why it's so successful today, maybe. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. That's my current project.
Yeah. Actually, just my curiosity, you just opened the account like 3 months ago, 4 months
Yeah,
ago, right?
we started-
on IG, Instagram,
Started May,
right?
I think. Yeah.
Right. Then now you have so many followers already,
We didn't expect.
right?
We were.
The viewers, right? Views are so crazy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah,
Did you expect it like that?
No, zero. I
Zero.
thought because I've been on Instagram in a while, and I think currently it's very hard to get attention on Instagram. So we didn't expect this kind of growth, but I think because our content really speaks to people, like it makes people feel seen and they can relate to it, to that specific audience that we want to talk to. I think that's why it's doing so well.
How was your reaction? A lot of views.
Oh, it's overwhelming. It's just too much. Like I said, we were strategizing for a slow and steady growth, which would be more manageable because we're a really small team. There's just there's just 4 main people and then a few others that are helping us. But now that it's grown to where it is right now and it's still growing, it's very hard very hard to manage. But we're learning. We're learning from a lot of people, because since a lot of people are watching it, a lot of people are reaching out to us, including content creators and people who know how to do this stuff. And so they're helping us. They're helping guide us. You know, even Rio's helping. Do you know Mikey Bustos?
Mikey Bustos.
So he's a legendary Filipino creator here in the Philippines.
Mikey Bustos.
Yeah, Mikey Bustos.
Mikey Bustos. It's
Yeah.
Rio po.
So
He came from the States too, right?
he came from Canada.
Okay,
Yeah. So we interviewed him yesterday, actually. Showed him the film, just like what we did for you. And yeah, he gave us advice, and he gave us what we think, where he thinks our platform is going. And yeah, it's so great receiving all this support, because like I said, it's overwhelming. But at the same time, since there's so much attention, we're also getting attention from these people who know what they're doing, these content creators and other types of creators who are helping us along the way. So that's so nice. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, and
this
so
is-
yeah.
It's really like a good thing, and I'm so glad that we all met, because I feel like even like there's a huge disconnect. That's what it is. And I
Exactly.
think that like what you guys are doing, it's able to give people, I guess, the bigger story quicker, or it's just kind of like what Max is doing with Jose Rizal, right? It's not the traditional like, okay, here's the history of stuff, and some people tend to get bored by that, but I think like all the elements that you guys are providing like really works well, and then it's a good catalyst. Like I feel like everybody, like you said, are gonna start coming together, and because sad to say, like, and I know you probably experienced it too in America, it's like the Filipinos, not all of them like work together. It's so segregated. So like that's why a lot of people don't know. Like I'm one of them. I didn't know anything, and it took me like 46 years to get here, and 45, sorry. 45 years to get here. But yeah, I think everything is I can feel it in the air. Like everything's starting to bubble up, and I think, more people, more Filipinos overseas are starting to get more proud of their roots, and not just Filipinos. I mean, yeah, just in general, like people in general, there's more knowledge out there now. So
That's a good point. I think why it's getting this kind of reaction is because we're presenting our culture very clear and very simple, and in reality, it's not that simple. It's very complicated. It's very deep. But if you're just getting introduced to it, if you don't know anything, then just start with the basics, the foundation, the simple part. And so that's how we want to introduce it to everybody. And yeah, like Tina said, what our goal is for all Filipinos to be one here in the Philippines and all around the world, to awaken that next generation of Bayanis to reclaim the greatness of our people.
hey,
So cool, right?
yeah.
The one.
The one.
Let me be the one of the one.
Join us.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's what I like about the Philippines also, they're so welcoming, right?
Welcoming, yeah.
If I say like, oh, I wanna be like part of like the one, you guys say, oh, join us. Like,
Yeah, join us.
This is like how good Philippines is, right? And I wanna show to the world how beautiful, amazing Philippines is. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
Right? I fell in love with this country. So, yeah, that's why, on my in my interview, like I always
Yeah.
ask, like, what's good about Philippines? So, guys, Philippines is so amazing. Yeah. Diba? Right?
So let me ask you, what's good about the Philippines?
Oh my gosh. This answer is so boring, but I want to say people. Yeah, everyone says people, but it really people. Yeah, people are amazing here. And yeah, definitely people. People are so nice. How can I explain it? Maybe if you don't come to the Philippines, you cannot feel it, I guess. Yeah. Just please, come to the Philippines, then feel it.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it, 100%. Yeah,
You feel it here. You feel the people
yeah.
here.
Guys, come to the Philippines, please, please. I wanna, share this feeling. How much I love the Philippines and how good Philippines, but I cannot explain well. Please come to the Philippines and feel it.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, for sure. No, I know exactly what you're saying, bro.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you can tell people, but they
maybe.
won't get it. Like
So I feel they don't understand.
yeah.
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 Cause unfortunately, some people still look down
Yeah.
to the Philippines like as a third world. What's that? What's
Third
this?
world country?
Yes, a world country.
Yeah.
But we mention a lot this topic.
Yeah,
right?
Rio and I talk about it all the time. Like
Yeah.
even before when we first
Yeah,
met,
yeah.
we were like, damn man, like if they only knew, like people just have to see what we see and feel what we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the goal of our channels is just the same thing. Yeah. Make people feel it somehow with our videos.
Oh my gosh. Guys, come to the Philippines. That's it. Feel it. Please. Okay. Speaking of the Filipino story, what message do you hope to share through the Filipino story? Again, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
question,
well-
but again.
So just with every video we create, from the 6 episodes of the animated series itself to the interviews that we upload, the reels, we just want to celebrate the beauty, the genius, and the spirit of the Filipino people. Because for other platforms, other channels, sometimes they don't necessarily focus on that. There's other things which are also important to focus on, the challenges we have, some of the negative aspects. But at the same time, we believe that for people to be proud of their heritage, of who they are, of their ancestors, you have to know why they were great. You have to know what makes them special, what makes them, what allowed them to push through the challenges they had in the past. So that's what we want to show with our platform. And yeah, like I said earlier, we exist to awaken the next generation of Bayanis, to reclaim that greatness from before.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah, I want to ask about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what is the concept behind pilgrimage? I mean, can you explain what
Yeah,
pilgrimage? Pilgrimage.
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 Yeah.
To my viewer.
So that's my other project that I'm working on. So there's the Filipino Story, and then there's Pilgrimage. Pilgrimage stands for Filipino pilgrimage. So like a Filipino spiritual journey to transform from Filipino American or Filipino Canadian or Filipino Australian to Filipino to awaken the Bayani spirit. And there's these 2 projects because the Filipino Story, it's a cartoon. It's for people who don't have access to come here themselves and feel it themselves, diba? Pilgrimage is a reality show where we take Filipino Americans or Filipinos outside the Philippines who don't know anything about their identity and their culture, and we bring them here on a 11-day journey around the country to really explore the different dimensions of Filipino culture, from experiencing the richest luxury experiences, seeing the best islands, the best, staying at the best hotels and the best resorts in the Philippines, but also immersing themselves in the poorest communities, in the indigenous tribes. So we try to hit all of those different ways that Filipino culture is expressed throughout the country. And so yeah, in a way, it's kind of like the live action version of the Filipino story. The Filipino story is animation,
Yeah.
but then Pilgrimage is the real life version where you can actually see someone transforming, that their Bayani spirit igniting inside their heart as the show goes on. The new season isn't coming out until the end of this year, but yeah, that's another project that we're working on. Pilgrimage.
I'm so excited to see it.
Sounds dope.
Right. So, what made you to start the pilgrimage?
Oh, so yeah, it's another one of Tony's
Okay.
projects. So the story I told you guys earlier about when he went here the first time, and then he didn't expect that Filipinos are so warm and they have these golden hearts. And then so after that trip, he wants to do the same for as many people as he can. And like I said, he's an American businessman. He has a very successful business, so he's able to do this a lot. I think he's been doing this for, I want to say, six years.
Okay.
Just bringing lots of young Filipino Americans
Okay.
here in the Philippines and going through that same transformation that he had. But the show that we're making, it didn't get documented and captured until last year. So we shot there was a first season of Pilgrimage that was shot by ABS-CBN and different filmmakers. So that's season 1, available on Amazon Prime. But then season 2 we shot last year, and then season 3 we shot just last month, right after Rio interviewed us and we
Yes.
interviewed him.
Yeah. How was it? How was the latest one? The last month's one?
Yeah, so last month it was amazing. We went to so many parts of the Philippines. We went to what's considered the best party island in the Philippines, Boracay. So we took Filipino Americans who have never been there for the first time, and they had so much fun. But also in Boracay, there's a indigenous community, the Ati tribe, the Ati village.
Ati tribe.
Yeah, not a lot of people know about that part of Boracay. These are Filipinos who live how Filipinos would have lived, like, I guess, long time ago. I'd say hundreds of years ago. And so it's a more pure form of Filipino culture. You get to experience that by meeting these people. And so that's when their awakening began, I guess. And then after Boracay, we went back to Manila, and we went to Tondo, if you know
Tondo, yeah.
that place. We did an immersion there as well. Met with the community, met with the people and the children there. And yeah, overall, it was just it's always fun to do Pilgrimage, not just to see the awakening of the Filipino Americans, but also for me as a filmmaker, I love working with a crew. And of all the films, well, I guess not. It's a big crew. I work with a big crew, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. Like to me, my film crew is my bayanis. They help me get these stories told, and as a filmmaker, as the director of the show, that's the best part for me. It's telling stories with my crew, with my film crew.
Like, every answer is like too amazing, right? I cannot say anything. Like,
It's really a podcast.
right? Like, right? Too beautiful. Like your answers.
You should come next year.
Talaga?
To Pilgrimage, yeah.
Yeah, I wanna try. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but to be honest, I came here to the Philippines last 2020, like 1 year and 6 months ago, I guess. But
6 months ago.
Yeah, 1 year and 6 months ago, and I've just been to Siargao.
Mm.
I was in Cebu, right?
Yeah.
Then Manila. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
So you still have so much to explore.
Yes, yes. I really want to explore in the Philippines. Yeah. And these days, I
hard.
always hear like in BGC. BGC is Philippines, but it's not Philippines. I mean, right? BGC is like BGC, right?
Yeah.
So I
Because
want
you have a lot of work here.
Yeah, yeah. I want to feel more like Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, here, I mean, out of BGC. I mean, BGC is fantastic. I love BGC, but you know, I feel it. You know, I have to go out of BGC more and more, like before.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, and you went to Subic also.
Ah, yeah, Civic.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jiho.
With Jiho.
Yeah.
Again. Oh,
Ah,
sorry.
Jiho.
Don't
Always. Yeah, but I really wanna, you know, go out to a lot of places.
Yeah, there's so many.
What do you think? Where should I go?
Next,
Next destination.
where in Cebu did you?
No, I was
where in Cebu
just,
did
you know,
or just learning?
Mactan area
Just
and
Mactan.
Cebu City. That's
Ah.
it. Yeah.
There's a lot of places.
Bohol. Oslo also?
Oslo, yeah.
Oslo,
Did you
Bohol.
didn't go to Oslo yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can start there. Bohol and Cebu, they're just near each other, so you can explore that area. There's so much to do there.
Beautiful
Chocolate
things.
hills. You can see whale sharks.
Whale sharks.
You can.
What's the small monkey?
Tarsier.
Tarsha.
That's in Bohol. Tarsier, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Nope.
This size, Timba.
Yeah. My dad's from Bohol, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Bohol.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. For pilgrimage, what message do you hope to convey, share through this project?
It's the same with the Filipino Story. They're both connected projects. I guess for the Filipino Story, it's a more general message. It's it's for everybody. But the pilgrimage, we tell specific stories of individual people, and we hope that when people watch it, they see themselves through those cast members, those characters that we're documenting as they go through their journey. But yeah, the message is the same as the Filipino Story: to celebrate what is beautiful and what is genius and what is great about Filipino culture, about the Filipino people, and we're just creating it to the same thing, awaken the next generation of Bayanis.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, from now, let me ask you now the
Sige.
personal question.
Oh,
Something, yeah, but it's still related to the filmmaker or something. This kind of things. So, as a filmmaker, what has been the most challenging part of your filmmaking journey?
So I guess back then, I wasn't sure like if this was the direction I wanted my career to go, because in my early 20s I was like, do I really want to be making historical films and that's the only thing I'm doing? Like it doesn't seem fun. Other people, my other filmmaker friends, they were making like horror movies and other types of movies that seemed more exciting. And for a time, that's also why I started the YouTube channel, so I can explore different types of videos that might be interesting for me. So I guess that was like the most challenging part, is finding my own direction, like which direction do I want my work to go to. But eventually, as I just kept going in that path, I realized like how important doing this work is and how much it fits together with like the experiences that I've went through. Like I said earlier, I have the Filipino experience growing up here, but I also have the Filipino American experience growing up in America, and so it just seemed so perfect that this project, the Filipino Story and Pilgrimage, like came to me, and for me to, not do it, to reject it just because I want to explore doing something else, or I felt like it might be too boring. Like it didn't seem right. Like for me, I feel like there's a reason why this project was being given to me, and so yeah, that was the hardest thing, is accepting this direction. But now, like, I know that this is what I meant to do with my life, is to make these kinds of films, make these kinds of movies, these documentaries, to let people know, like, this, it's important to know who you are, because knowing your roots, knowing your past, it informs, it's something you can't change about yourself. And the more you know yourself, the more you can know what your destiny in life is. And so knowing that that is the kind of impact my work has, is what part of the reason that makes me keep going.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's interesting. So you started liking history because of the films that you were doing, or you liked it before and then you just didn't realize it until you started doing the work, that it was kind of, because it's kind of like, the fact that you like it, you liked it before,
Yeah.
is kind of like a precursor type of thing of where you're supposed to be.
I mean, I like the topic of history. I like history in general, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a history filmmaker, like, or make documentaries about Filipino culture in a way.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like I said earlier, it just made sense. Like that interest is already there. And like you said, it just kept deepening the more and more I did it. And it made more and more sense the more and more I did it. Going back to the very beginning, right? My dad is a pastor, and the way he tells stories is from the context of history, connecting those dots. And when I watched him when I was a kid, of course I wasn't thinking about that, but just I grew up hearing his stories, and so subconsciously, that's how I storytell. That's how I started seeing the world, and yeah, looking at my life personally, the dots just connected perfectly into this direction, and so with confidence, that's the direction that I'm going now.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. But like, that's like, I don't know, how can I say, like, that's a life, right? Like, yeah, everything has meaning.
Yeah.
Every dot has meanings, right? Yeah, like once that dot, like, how can I say it? Like,
Once the dots are connected?
yeah, it's gonna be boom, right? It's like his project. That's like his project, right? I'm so, like amazed.
From the outside looking in, right? Like just hearing the stories, it's like it makes so much sense, because if you didn't have this love for history, you couldn't tell the stories properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta have like passion for something, and you gotta know the way something is being told. I'm pretty sure in your head you're kind of like, oh, I could tell it this way. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Especially, and you would know because you grew up in different communities as well. Hawaii, Vegas, and now
Right.
here. There's a certain way that Hawaiians may accept a certain way that you share something in Vegas as well, and the Filipino way, and even there's a Japanese way of telling something and a Filipino way of telling something, and that's what you have to juggle when you're a storyteller. Telling a story in a way that makes sense for everyone, if that's your goal for your story.
So now I just remember, so in the history, like Philippines was colonized by Japan, right?
Yeah.
So my Japanese friend here in the Philippines told me like, Rio, you know, some like especially older generations, they look down to the Philippines. So the reason is, you know, I think because of the history, right? So my friend said that. Then I was like, yeah, I guess so. Then now I really want to learn the history about Japan, Philippines. So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you know each
Yeah,
person
yeah.
has each point of views, you know. But
I was trying to avoid saying when I was talking about World War II, I was trying to avoid saying, "Oh, we fought against Japan."
right.
But
But I'm over here looking at, like looking at the wide shot, and I'm like, oh, but it's so cool, like that. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
both countries are right here on the table,
Yeah.
and having a good time, talking
Yeah.
about like positive stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
yeah,
so honestly, when I was a student, I didn't learn. No one taught us about the war
School in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japan and Philippines. That's why I didn't know that. To be honest, when I arrived here,
Yeah.
then some Filipino told me, Rio, we were colonized by Japan. I was
Yeah.
like, oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. like
Well,
that.
no, you
Yeah.
don't have to be sorry
Yeah.
about it because we weren't at war with Japanese people. We were at war with the Empire of Japan, who at that time was trying to expand all over Asia.
Yeah.
It was the emperor's decision at the time, Emperor Hirohito, and I don't know how Japanese culture is exactly, but whatever the emperor says,
Yes, true.
the country will do. So, at least for me, we don't blame it on Japanese people. We blame it on the leadership
Yeah.
that happened at that time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super Japan. Before Japan was like if the the leader said
Yeah.
do this, yes sir.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, to be honest, before I was like okay, past is past. I don't care like that. But now I wanna know about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
history more and more. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah, right.
I can share with you.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity
Mm.
to start learning the history. Yeah. Not only Japan, Philippines, but also a lot of things. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we usually kind of stay away from these kind of topics, but
Yeah.
it's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I remember when Kim was here, he's actually a Korean, but he's from Kazakhstan. So he's
Wow.
like speaks Russian and stuff. And I remember he was telling us that like the story of the war is different on that end.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's just to hear all these different perspectives. It's so crazy. Like,
Right?
it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for the Philippines. In our case, there's three: the American perspective of what happened in the war, and that perspective is America saved the Philippines. Like
Okay.
they make themselves the hero.
That's American perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least like what I learned in school and what
Okay.
most people perceive the American perspective is. And then so what we're trying to do, or what we tried to do with our World War II films, is to show the Filipino perspective. That during the war, it wasn't that we were so victimized and we had to wait for the Americans to come and save us, but the Filipinos, when it was such a challenging time, we stood up for ourselves. We worked together. We had that Bayani spirit in all our hearts, and even though we didn't have a lot of resources, we took what we had and fought back, and that's the Filipino perspective. Some interesting facts, I guess, that you can that you can start learning. So the battle where Americans and Filipinos surrendered the Philippines. It's called the Battle of Bataan. And that lasted for 3 months. Usually, it's not gonna last that long, but here in the Philippines, because we didn't want to give up, we wanted to fight hard for our country. It was the longest. The Philippines was the last country to surrender in Asia, so that's how much spirit the Filipinos had at that time. And then during the Japanese occupation, which was around 3 years, there was a movement called the Guerrilla Resistance Movement. So you know what a guerrilla is?
What's the gorilla?
So a guerrilla is someone who doesn't fight as an official army. They're almost like they fight as a rebellion.
Okay.
Like revolutionaries.
Yeah.
So that the guerrilla resistance movement happened in the Philippines. Over 300,000 men, women, and children decided to try and fight for independence for the Philippines during the war, despite no one telling them that they should do this, because Japan was already there. We were already occupied by the Japanese Imperial Army, but the Filipinos, they knew what they wanted. They didn't want that, and so they took it upon themselves to form these guerrilla groups and fight back. And in a way, that's kind of where I get part of my filmmaking style from, like guerrilla style filmmaking, where if you don't have enough resources to make your vision become a reality, you look at what resources you do have and just figure out a way as creative as you can to make that vision a reality. And that's what I learned from doing these projects, from interviewing these guerrilla veterans when I was doing the World War II films.
Goosebumps. I mean, so yeah, you really learn a lot from the history.
Yeah.
Speechless. Wait, yeah, seriously, like goosebumps, right? Oh my gosh, like, what the shame. I mean, I was like, past is past. I'm not interested in history.
Yeah.
But now, that's the reason why we have to learn the history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, younger generation students, you should learn history. Seriously. Yeah. You can learn a lot of things from the history.
Yeah. The people of the past, they faced so many hard challenges, right? Compared to what we're facing now, us specifically. Like, we're not going through war, we're not going through something very hard. But when you learn about history and how those people overcame those challenges, that can help you live your life, especially if it's history of your heritage and your ancestors. Like, it really, on a practical level, that's how it can help you. But it can also be very inspiring because you come from those people. They're the reason why you exist today, and I guess that's part of the reason why I love history.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, go to the next topic, right? We've been doing this for 1 hour.
Hour 5.
Oh.
Didn't even feel like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask a few more questions then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring filmmakers?
So, like I said, the storyteller, I really believe this. The storyteller is the most powerful person in the world because they inform the values, the vision, and the agenda of an entire generation. Like, that's the responsibility and that's the power of a storyteller and storytelling. And I think if you are able to really believe that whatever you put out there, it's gonna impact and influence people in some way. like you're gonna be more intentional. You're gonna be more focused in how you create your work, because I think, like we said earlier, there's so many tutorials now, right, on how to do things, and it can be very easy to just treat this like you just follow it without even thinking about it, like how to become a filmmaker, and then you just see a video and then follow the steps. I don't think that's real filmmaking, or it doesn't. You're leaving so much of the power of storytelling on the table if you treat filmmaking in that way. Really think about what you are saying with the stories that you're creating, how you want those stories to influence and impact the world, because stories they're just that powerful. If you think about the movies and the books and the shows that you watched growing up, and when you think about it, you realize like, oh, the reason why I have this type of personality is because I watched this character growing up, or oh, the reason why I believe this is because this character believed the same thing about when I watched this movie when I was younger. Like, if you look at your life in the past, like that's what you will realize about, how much of how you were shaped is because of stories and movies and films and books. And so in the same way, when as a filmmaker now, that's going to be your job. Like, you're going to be shaping the next generation with your stories. And so just think about that. Like, what kind of world do you want to leave for the future? And that should be at the top of your mind. And if it is, like, it's your filmmaking will be more intentional, and it will also be more fun, and it's just more purposeful. The more you do things with purpose, I think, the more fulfilling it is. At least that's how I experience things. And so that's what I can say. That's advice that I think doesn't often get said.
Thank you so much.
Kampeki. Like perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the word?
Kampeki.
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 Kampeki is like Japanese.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Seriously. Okay. Next question. Not question. Can you tell us about any upcoming project or plans, or your biggest dream?
Oh, okay. My biggest dream. I'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Not my biggest dream, but my biggest. Oh, my biggest dream, or my. Okay.
Okay. Do you have like? Let me ask this first.
Yeah.
Upcoming project.
Oh,
plans.
upcoming project. I'm just gonna keep doing the Filipino Story and Pilgrimage for quite a while, I think. It's a long-term project.
Yeah.
It's more than just the 6 episodes of the animated series, but also the interviews and documentaries about the Filipino story that we're gonna make in the future, and then the Pilgrimage reality show is, I think it's gonna be every year once we release it. We'll see how people receive the show, but those are gonna be my projects for a while. After that, which will be a few years from now, I think I want to try making a movie. It's still gonna be about Filipino culture and the Filipino identity, but that's all I can reveal for now. I'm already starting to write it.
Oh. Japanese soldier.
Kenji.
Japanese soldier.
Japanese soldier.
Kenji. What was the name?
Kenji. Yeah, I was on like GMA's drama.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Kenji.
That's your character?
Yeah, Kenji was.
Kenji. Oh, was it World War II?
No,
Oh.
it was not. But I did it also. Japanese soldier.
Oh, wow.
GMA. Shout out to GMA. I'm here. Alright.
So-
Sige.
Future plans.
Sige. What's your biggest dream?
Okay, biggest dream, career-wise, right? I haven't said this. I've only said this to my friends. But my dream as a filmmaker is to become a national artist of the Philippines. Not to get the award necessarily, but just for what the award stands for. Because when you become a national artist, and there's less than, I think, 80 so far in the history of the country that are national artists. But a national artist, you know, their style influences an entire generation of future Filipino artists. Their work gets recognition from not just in the Philippines but abroad, and that's kind of the impact that I want my work to have. And it's a long-term goal. Like, I don't even need to be alive to get the award, because most artists are dead when they receive the National Artist Award. But yeah, I'd say that's like, career-wise, that's the goal that I'm trying to strive for. Whether I get it in this life or when I'm gone.
I really love it. Like, he's really trying to leave something in the future, right? So, yeah, I really love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Bani.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to. You just for context, when I was living in America, you know, I really miss the Philippines when I'm not here. So my wife and I, we watch a lot of YouTube, and then we ran into Rio's channel, and that's how we kind of prevent the homesickness from happening. Because, yeah. So this is it's crazy how now we're friends.
Yeah.
And now I'm in his channel.
Yeah. When I received the message from him, I was like, okay, maybe I should do it, like that. I told you, Tunes, right?
Yeah.
Tunes, I received this message. Maybe I should do it. Definitely. Then now.
Thanks for responding.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Bani.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
As always, my signature question. What's
Ooh.
good about the Philippines?
What's good about the Philippines is the Bayani spirit. It's the warmth that people feel when they come here. It's that hospitality. It's that welcoming feeling. It all comes from this, the Bayani spirit, the golden heart inside every Filipino. And I'm glad that when you came here, you got to experience it, and you loved it so much that, you know, you wanted to be a part of us, a part of our culture. And of course, you're welcome. We welcome you. And with the projects that I'm doing, the project and the videos that you're doing, you know, we share it to the world together. That Bayani, what I call the Bayani spirit. And that's what's good about the Philippines.
Yo! Thank you! I love it. Bayani spirits, guys. Bayani spirits. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Do you have any message to my viewers or your community, to the world?
Yeah, just if you haven't seen it already, you can watch the episodes of the Filipino Story on our YouTube channel, the Filipino Story Studio. And like I said earlier, our goal is just, these videos are just to celebrate the beauty, the genius, and the spirit of the Filipino people. And we just want to awaken that Bayani spirit within the next generation of Filipinos to reclaim our greatness. And so, thank you guys for listening to Rio's podcast in real life.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we go, can you share how good this place is to my viewers?
How good this place is?
Yes.
Oh,
we
I mean,
call it here Manila Connection.
Manila Connection.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've only been here twice, but I can already imagine, like, there's so much space. There's so many, as a creator, as a filmmaker, I can imagine like so many things that you can do here, and I'm glad, like, I'm friends with the guys who are in charge of this space, because if ever there's a time that I want to shoot something, that at least this is available, and it's I'm excited that I got to shoot this podcast here, and we got to shoot Rio's interview here last month, and I'm looking forward to creating more exciting videos and creating more memories with my friends here in the future, because it's in the name, right? Connection.
Yeah.
And that's what this place is all about. That's what I feel whenever I'm here.
Yeah. So guys, what should I say to this? If like any inquiries or something, hit us up, diba? Guys, okay. Today's guest is Bani. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rio.
Thank you so much, Bani. Thank you. Love Philippines.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you